Standing now for 110 years, St. Joseph's downtown public library building was constructed between 1900 and 1901, and its doors opened to the public March 13, 1902.
The building opened in 1902. The library actually started, the St. Joseph Public Library started in 1890 with a vote of the citizens to form a public library. There were some library associations before that, and this is actually our third building.
The public library started over on 10th Street, a block south of Charles Street, in what some people recall as the Seidenfaden Funeral Home. It was a huge building, and they started the library there, and then they built the library with the school district. And it was built it was intended for the school district to be upstairs above this center of learning, and opened up the central library, and then just grew and grew and grew.
After two other previous locations since the library was created in 1890, it has remained there ever since. The building is actually owned by the St. Joseph School District. The building was designed by architect E.J. Eckel and features many forms of artwork.
I think the building is mostly brick with a stone facade, and it's been coated with something to give it all one uniform color, but it was that kind of takes away from what the original building looked like. I think the original color of the stone was much yellower and not the kind of beigey look that it's got now. But you know, the dome and the stained glass, the arches, you know, it's not Romanesque, but it is just a classical interpretation of many different kinds of you know, columns that are Roman or Greek, probably Roman, but stylized in a Beaux-Art way.
You walk in the front doors and you look forward and you see this beautiful balcony. Now, when the building first opened, just the back half of the balcony was there. In 1907, the same company that put in that balcony, I think it was the Art Metal Company, they constructed the second half of the balcony, and that was so that there was more shelving in the building. When you stand in the lobby, you're standing on a hand-laid terrazzo floor, and you really have to go to the East Coast to see any other floors like that were hand-laid without the guides to lay the terrazzo. So it's a piece of artwork in itself. When we renovated the building in 2004, one of the big choices to make was, do we save that floor? In early pictures that we can see of the building, even in the 1940s, you can see huge cracks in the floor. And so it was just covered with carpeting for years and years. So we actually had to restore the floor in order to save it. So that was a choice that was made. Or if you're standing in the lobby and you look up, what you're seeing is you're seeing some beautiful glass artwork. And if you go up to the second floor and look up, you see a dome. But at the same point that they added the second half of the balcony, they also added that art glass to cover the dome. I think it was probably a safety hazard because it was wide open. And that's just another beautiful part of the building. We have a lot of marble. Part of the circulation desk is marble, and that was actually new, added in 2004 during the renovation that we made. When you first come in the door, you see a beautiful Carrara marble statue of Ophelia. And we were actually given that by two brothers, Louis and William Huggins, in 1902. They were traveling in Europe when this library opened, and they sent that marble statue back to us. And then when they died, I think they died between the two of them sometime in the early 20s, and they left some other artwork to the library. So we have some other smaller statues, we have some paintings that are on display here. We also have a painting of Joseph Robidoux, which is a match for a painting of Joseph Robidoux that is at City Hall. And that was painted by a Mr. Patch. And we actually have some papers from citizens of St. Joseph that after this painting was done, they verified that this was a likeness of Joseph Rubidoux. We have a statue of Little Boy Blue. Eugene Field, that was one of his well-known poems. He was a poet who spent some time in St. Joseph. He married a St. Joseph girl, Julia Comstock. And in the 1940s, children of St. Joseph gave pennies, and they actually purchased this statue of Little Boy Blue with the Women's Press Club. I think that they spearheaded the effort, and that statue was given to the library to be put on display here. So we also have a statue of Little Boy Blue.
Besides being a historical building in downtown St. Joseph, it houses a treasure trove of historical material with newspaper accounts going back as far as the 1840s.
Now they're really spotty until after the Civil War, but people can come in and look at newspapers on microfilm. We have microfilm machines where you can either make a copy from the microfilm, or you can even save it to a flash drive or email the image to yourself. So you can do historical research here at the library. We have all kinds of different, when you think of a library now and you think of books, it's not just a book. We have regular print books, we have paperbacks, we have large print books, we have audio books. We also have e-books. We've got books that you can check out and put on your e-reader, or books, electronic books that you can listen to on your MP3 player. We also have audiobooks on CD. We still have a few on tape for those people who don't have CD players yet.
But the library is not just a source of paper materials and documents. Modern-day technology has enhanced its ability to serve the public in many ways.
We check out DVDs and videos for people. So we just really run the gamut of material. In addition to that, we have databases for people. We have health databases, car repair databases. Our genealogy databases are really popular. Of course, we have a website where you can access most of those databases from home. I think that libraries are really important parts of their communities, and we're not only a place for somebody to come check out books, but we're also a place for people to come and connect with their friends, their family, through computers. We help people find jobs on the computers. So libraries are not just about books anymore. I think that the fact that we provide computers to people is just as important as the role that we play in providing books and other materials for people to check out and take home. So what libraries do is we adapt. So we have e-books now. Well, that's not a problem for us because we provide e-books for people to put on their e-readers. We also provide a lot of programs in the library and in the community for people. So we're really still a place of knowledge for people, but the way that we provide that knowledge has changed through the years, and I'm sure that that will continue to change. One of the big things that libraries provide, and we will continue to provide, are story times for children. We are able to help children at the beginning of their lives learn how to love books and help their parents make sure that books are a big part of kids' lives.
The St. Joseph Public Library has grown since it opened its doors to the public and now has 3 other locations in the St. Joseph area.
The St. Joseph Public Library actually has 4 branches. This is the downtown library. This was our first library. It's not our first building, but this was the downtown library was at first just the St. Joseph Public Library. In 1902, we received some funding from the Carnegie Foundation and built a library in South St. Joseph called the Carnegie Library. In 1910, St. Joseph received more money from the Carnegie Foundation, and we built the Washington Park Library, and that is in North St. Joseph. Then in 2004, we built a new, totally modern library near the East Hills Mall, and that's called the East Hills Branch. So we are a 4-branch system within the city of St. Joseph.